And speaking of that, like I said, all I see is dumb, blonde syndrome when it comes to all of these women. These women on these Country Wayne skits act like these men are Chris Brown, Lance Gross, Michael Ealy, Aegis Elba, Morris Chestnut, Terrence Howard, and many other men that I find very attractive. These men ain't nowhere near that. Now, mind you, I don't look at looks when it comes to a person. I look at their character. And character is not something that you're going to be able to see. It is something you have to observe. And that is something that's based on a conversation. That's why, for me, my first date is somewhere that's educational, whether it be an art museum, whether it be going to a library, bookstore, because I'm an intellect. So I like intellectual dates. I like stuff where I can actually have a conversation with you. Coffee date, breakfast date. I don't want to do a dinner date when I first meet you. I want to meet you in broad daylight. I do not want to do a gym type of date. Hiking date I can deal with because we can actually have a conversation while we're walking. But I don't want to do a date where somebody is paying. I'd rather pay for my own stuff. They pay for their own stuff, and we actually go somewhere we can talk. I'd rather go somewhere where there's a festival, where we can listen to music, put a blanket out, and sit down and listen to music and just vibe. That's it. For me, money is good and all, but I be having some questions because men always talk about women and taking care of them, but when you're single, who's taking care of you? But see, somebody said something today, and this also applies to the Country Wayne skit. So let me cook on this. Somebody talked about how they not go fold clothes, mop, and do any of this. But I have a question. What if you had to do it yourself? For example, for 18 years and on, I raised a child with autism by myself. Only had two men that lived with me throughout my whole entire life. Two. And altogether 14 years between the both of them. 7 years apiece. And one of them almost 8. So almost about 15 and a half years, I would say. So what if neither one of these dudes live with me? Shouldn't they be able to fold clothes, wash clothes, be able to mop and clean up their house, being that they don't have a woman there? I mean, the whole point of having these jobs as far as mechanics and maids and all of these different jobs is because these are things that you don't do. Like, for example, being that when it comes to buying clothes, what do? You go to the mall, you go to Walmart, you go anywhere that sell clothes to go buy clothes because you don't know how to basically make your own clothes. The whole point of having a washer and dryer because you're not going to hand wash your clothes like back in the day. The whole reason that you go get appliances so you can basically vacuum without literally having to sweep the floor. So at the end of the day, if you really want somebody to go and do all this stuff, you can hire people for these things. But see, you want somebody to do it for free. But you won't reciprocate it. See, the whole thing is, I love a walking contradiction. I really do. If a man gets a woman that is a housewife, he's going to resent her because she's not working, especially if he loses his job. He's going to be expecting her to go back to work, and that's just not going to happen. Just like if you get a woman that's independent, you're going to resent her because she's too independent and she demasculates you But then you end up with a woman that ends up taking all your money, then you miss the person that was actually independent. Walking contradictions. Just like when it comes to sex. I've noticed that a lot of men that are attractive are not as good in bed as you might think. Because most of them are treating you like prostitutes. At the end of the day, life is a game. And it's all about chess, not checkers. Now, for some people, you may have to play checkers instead of chess every once in a while. But in the end, it's all about chess, not checkers. At the end of the day, there are a lot of us that do not want to play these games no more. And we don't. What's funny about the situation is, in this society, they're making it impossible for anybody to be able to survive, especially the younger generation. All these baby boomers care about is their generation. Their generation going to be the last one that's going to be able to retire. That's it. Even Gen X can't retire. We can't even retire at this point. The majority of us. So it really started with Gen X when it came to not being able to retire. But the point that I'm trying to make is, when you see the world for what it is, you don't feed into it. And when you don't feed into it, you'll be amazed how things are better for you, to be honest. So the fact that these beautiful women can have any man that they want, and yet and still, these are the men they choose. And the Kountry Wayne skits, oh, okay. And don't get me wrong. All of them, to me, are attractive in their own way. And there are some that I'm not attracted to. And you'd be surprised how many of them I'm not attracted to. But then again, I let go of attraction a long time ago because sex has nothing to do with attraction. It don't. It has everything to do with an experience and how somebody makes you feel. I was watching a documentary about menopause and they talked about sex. And that's one of the things they brought up. That sex is not about what somebody look like. It's really about how somebody makes you feel. Because the body cannot see the person you're having sex with. Neither one of those body parts can see who the person is you're having sex with. They go off the way that that person makes the body feel. An overall experience. But that's a whole nother conversation. So at the end of the day, yes, these women are drop dead gorgeous. But the fact that they can't keep a man, the fact that these men keep playing their faces and they keep dealing with it is beyond crazy to me, when you can have any man that you want. So I'm going to let them have it. So I'm going to enjoy my life and be happy and have peace. That's it. Because at the end of the day, these Kountry Wayne skits are proving why society is a walking contradiction. And why you need to stand on your non-negotiables and stand on business. Because again, I'm not messing with another man that's messing with another woman. I'm just not. I refuse to. I have too much respect for myself. And if these men don't want me, it ain't my loss, it's theirs. I am no longer saying that it's my loss because that person don't want me. No, it's theirs. Kind of know what I bring to the table. And I'm not going to let nobody stop me from being the queen that I am. And that's just it on that. So I don't look at when people walk out as it being a loss. I look at it as, you ain't man or woman enough for me anyway. And you ain't meant to be in my life no way. So I'm not worried about all of that. I don't even care. Because my happiness begins and ends with me. So that's why I say with these Kountry Wayne skits, it's a lot of stuff that people are looking past. But for me, I look at these Kountry Wayne skits a whole lot differently than everybody else do. I don't look at them the way they do. I look at it as that Wayne is showing a walking contradiction when it comes to beautiful women. And pretty much exposing the truth that a lot of people don't even want to see. That being beautiful does not mean better. Being beautiful is just temporary. But that doesn't mean the character of the person is a good person. So, yeah, he's showing the Bible. Just in a way that people wouldn't expect. But then again, You'd have to be a thinker and somebody that's really a godly person to really see what Wayne is doing. With that being said, I'm going to bed. Bye.